Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to demonstrate how waste would be segregated in My Home Jewel. This is an 11-minute video detailing how waste should be segregated and what happens to the waste after it's picked up. Until now, wet and dry waste bins have been placed in each floor with the intent of collecting segregated wastes. However, we have not seen the right results and have noticed mixed waste from both the bins. So, going forward, we'll be removing dry and wet waste bins from each floor. Housekeeping will collect your segregated waste daily from your doorstep. Turquoise, jade and comet are already following the segregation system. Hereon, this will apply to all blocks of My Home Jewel. Let's see what bins are used to collect different kinds of waste from our home. All the scraps from the kitchen, fruits and vegetable peels, leftover rice and curries, and all other biodegradable waste are to be collected and placed in the green bins titled wet. All the dry recyclable waste generated in your home are to be placed in the blue bins. All the reject waste are to be wrapped in the newspaper and placed in red colored reject bins. Housekeeping will arrive at 8 a.m. every day. They'll ring the bell to signal the start of collection. Please collect all the different bins in your home and take them to the doorstep to be handed over to the housekeeping staff. The housekeeping staff will place the waste from your home bins into designated community bins and clean your home dustbins and hand them back to you. Let's now see what kind of household waste goes into which bin. The coffee jar you see here is to be emptied into the wet waste first, and the glass jar can be placed in the dry waste blue colored bin. Reject waste such as human hair, expired medicines, sanitary napkins, used earbuds, broken glass, all of this is to be wrapped in a newspaper and placed in the reject bin. We request all of you to wrap the reject waste in a newspaper for the safety of the collection agents. Used old clothes are neither recyclable nor compostable. As such, they are to be folded and placed in the red colored reject bin. Tetra Pak from the juice as well as lassi containers are to be emptied into the wet bin and placed into the dry bin for recycling. Used stationery such as erasers, old pencils and pens are to be placed in the dry waste blue colored bin. The packaging from your online shopping, such as shown in the video, is to be folded carefully and placed in the dry waste blue colored bin. All the PET plastic bottles, either from your shampoo bottles, your cleaning Harpic bottles, all of that are to be emptied first and then placed in the blue bin. Other household waste such as your raki can be placed in the dry bin as well. Please also place your broken plastic pieces, broken toys, hangers, and all other kinds of plastic waste in the dry bin. Used earbuds are to be placed in the reject waste bin. All single-use plastic wrapping covers as well as the shopping covers are to be folded carefully and placed in the dry waste blue colored bin. The outer plastic covers of sanitary napkins can be placed in the dry waste blue colored bin, whereas used napkins are to be wrapped in newspaper and placed in the reject bins. The bubble wrap and other forms of packaging plastics are to be placed in dry waste bin. Glass bottles, small pieces of metal or small pieces of glass can be wrapped in a paper or plastic cover and placed in the blue colored dry waste bins. Other household items such as used balloons and other forms of plastic can be placed in the dry waste bin. Cloth bags are a form of plastic as well. They can be folded and placed in the dry waste bin. Food packaging from your Swiggy food containers, etc., have to be emptied into the wet waste first, cleaned the food waste thoroughly, and then place the container in the dry waste blue colored bin. All sorts of multi-layer plastic, that is the wrappers for your candy bars, etc., your glue sticks, which are a form of plastic, all of these can be placed in your dry waste bin. Used toothbrushes, used paper plates, plastic glasses, single-use disposables, these can go in the dry waste bin as well. Other forms of domestic waste like used toothpaste tubes, pizza boxes, other forms of cardboard boxes can be folded and placed in the dry waste bin. Used oil packets and milk packets are to be cleared of any residue and then folded and placed in the dry waste bins. Used medicine covers to be wrapped in newspaper and placed in the reject waste red colored bin. All forms of plastic packaging to be emptied in the wet waste container and folded and placed in the dry waste bin. Your mosquito repellent bottles and other forms of waste can be your dry waste bin as well. All forms of containers and tubes for hand wash, face wash, etc., and all the wrappers of the candy and other food items can be placed in the blue bin. The flyers we receive with our newspapers every day can be folded and placed in the dry waste bin along with any waste papers we may have. Broken pieces of plastic, used crayons and color pencils from kids' stationery, etc., can be placed in the dry bin. Used band-aids and anything that has human fluids has to go into the reject waste bin after being wrapped in a newspaper. All forms of bills and shopping receipts can be folded and placed in your dry waste bin. All electronic waste such as cable wires, batteries, earphones, etc., can be placed in the dry waste bin as well. Small pieces of plastic or metal, your metal tins All forms of tins and metal can be placed in the dry waste bin. Broken glass is to be wrapped in a newspaper and placed in the reject pile. Used swabs of cotton and other forms of medical waste are to be wrapped in a newspaper and placed in the reject waste bin. Empty cardboard containers and empty cardboard boxes used for packaging are to be folded and put in the dry waste bin. Cardboard packaging for food must be cleared of all residue before being placed in the dry waste bin. Please see the poster below for more details on what kinds of waste goes into which bin. After collection from the housekeeping, the dry waste will be collected by a waste management company and sent for recycling. The wet waste will be composted on site and manure would be used in our landscaping. The reject waste will be incinerated. Thank you for watching.